2.47 lakh COVID cases in the country in the last 24 hours. This is a 27% jump since yesterday. Prime Minister Modi reviewed the COVID-19 situation with chief ministers as cases surged. He said there is a need to be alert in the festival season. As positivity rate soars in the country, there were curbs that were actually relaxed for festivals today. In Uttar Pradesh, thousands converged for the holy dip even as cases spike. Bihu celebrations were allowed. Crowds gathered at Ganga Sagar and Tirupati as well. 28,867 new COVID cases and 31 deaths reported in Delhi. The positivity rate in Delhi is nearly at 30%, with 29.2% being the daily positivity rate. Meanwhile, 46,400 cases in Maharashtra. The positivity rate in the state is at 9.9%. Karnataka Congress suspends its 10-day padayatra on day 5 after Veerappa Moily, Mallikarjun Kharge are among the 5 leaders who've tested positive for COVID. A defiant DK Shiv Kumar speaks to NDTV, tells his colleagues aren't positive because of the yatra. 8 MLAs, including 3 ministers, have quit the Uttar Pradesh BJP in just 3 days. The Uttar Pradesh minister who vowed to be with the BJP just yesterday has quit today. Dharam Singh Saini is likely to join the Samajwadi Party. On to an NDTV exclusive. New Chinese enclave seen in Bhutan. High-resolution satellite images accessed by NDTV show 166 buildings and roads less than 30 kilometers from Doklam. 12 coaches of the Guwahati-Bikaner Express derail in West Bengal. 3 people have died. Several others have been injured, say sources. 9 trains, including the Agartala Rajdhani, have been diverted. Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Rishika Barua. Top focus story. Over 2.47 lakh new COVID cases in India is a 27% jump in just 24 hours. India has seen a biggest single-day jump of over 52,000 cases, the highest single-day increase since the pandemic began. Amid the COVID surge in India, Prime Minister Modi has chaired an all-important meeting with chief ministers via video conferencing. He stressed on local containment, added that most cases in the third wave need home isolation and that we should prepare for another variant after Omicron.
अब हमारे पास कोरोना से लड़ाई का 2 साल का अनुभव है। देशव्यापी तैयारी भी है। सामान्य लोगों की आजीविका, आर्थिक गतिविधियों को कम से कम नुकसान हो, अर्थव्यवस्था की गति बनी रहे। कोई भी रणनीति बनाते समय हम इन बातों को जरूर ध्यान में रखें। लोकल कंटेनमेंट पर ज्यादा फोकस करना बेहतर होगा। जहां से ज्यादा केस आ रहे हैं, हमें यह भी सुनिश्चित करना होगा कि होम आइसोलेशन में ही ज्यादा से ज्यादा ट्रीटमेंट हो सके। ओमिक्रॉन से निपटने के साथ ही हमें आने वाले किसी और संभावित वेरिएंट के लिए भी अभी से तैयारी शुरू कर देनी है।
And let's take a look at the average daily percentage change in cases. This gives you a sense of just how fast daily cases are shooting up in the country. The average rate is at 16%, and that's on the lower side because of the Tuesday decline. In this graphic, the skyscraper at the end shows just how fast cases are rising as compared to the previous 2 waves. Take a look at this graphic. While today's cases are 2.47 lakh, I beg your pardon, we could see a roughly 7 lakh daily cases, and this is just a conservative estimate that is based on today's average rate of 16%. Now, this varies quite a bit. For instance, today's rise was massive. It was 27%. But if you just take a look at the average, that is 16%, we could see roughly about 7 lakh daily cases in the coming days. Delhi has reported over 28,000 coronavirus cases, the highest ever. 28,867 new cases were reported and 31 deaths. The positivity rate in Delhi is inching closer to 30%. It's currently 29.2%. Now, there's been a huge spike in cases and deaths in the national capital. Nearly 100 deaths have been reported in just the last 4 days. A critical reminder that while Omicron is mild for most people, it isn't mild for all.
Bodies of the COVID dead being sanitized and labelled for a COVID-safe cremation. Devastated families cannot see the faces of their loved ones one last time. Scenes that bring back memories of the second wave. The fatality rate is lower in this wave, and so crematoriums are not flooded. But for some people, primarily the elderly who have comorbidities, the infection is still deadly. 62-year-old Shama Rani Gupta from Delhi lost her husband MP Gupta 3 days ago. He contracted COVID at a private hospital while recovering from heart surgery.
जीने की तमन्ना ही नहीं रही बिल्कुल भी। अब तो ये लगता है कि कहाँ जाऊँ, कैसे रहूँ। मुझे अपने बच्चों के लिए जीना पड़ेगा। मैं तो जा रही थी कि पहले मैं चली जाऊँ, मेरे हस्बैंड यहाँ रहे मेरे बच्चों के पास। मेरी कोई तमन्ना नहीं है जीने की।
डॉक्टर ने कहा बिल्कुल फैंटास्टिक ऑपरेशन हुआ है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, कोई कॉम्प्लिकेशन नहीं है और रिकवरी भी अच्छी हो रही थी, कोई प्रॉब्लम थी, हमें दिख रहा था कि रिकवरी बहुत अच्छी है। तो मैम 3rd डे के मॉर्निंग में ही उनको सांस की प्रॉब्लम शुरू हो गई। उसके नेक्स्ट डे ही मुझे कॉल आ गया कि उनको मॉर्निंग में हार्ट अटैक आया और वो नहीं बच पाए।
COVID deaths in Delhi are on the rise again. Just in the last 3 days, the official daily count has gone from 17 to 23 to now 40. The Omicron variant driving this third wave has been called mild by many, but it is crucial to remind ourselves that it is not mild for all. The infection can still be fatal for the elderly, people with comorbidities and unvaccinated children.
आज से 10 दिन पहले एक बॉडी आ रही थी, तो हमने उस दिन मैंने सोशल मीडिया पे डाला कि एक आंकड़ा बढ़ने वाला है, और कल आपने देखा ऑफिशियल 40 डेथ थी, जबकि 12 तो हमने ही कराई हैं। दिल्ली इतनी बड़ी है, 368 से ज़्यादा शमशान घाट हैं, हमारे एक शमशान घाट पे 12 क्रिमेशन हुए, 3 हमने बॉडी दफनाई भी हैं। तो मुझे लगता है आने वाला मंजर अभी अच्छा नहीं रहेगा, लोगों को सावधान रहना चाहिए।
Sources from the Health Ministry say that 7 out of the 97 deaths due to COVID in the national capital in the last 4 days have been of children, a worrying statistic. Between 19 to 40 years, there were 18 deaths. Between 41 to 60 years, there were 37 deaths. Between 61 to 80 years, there were 27 deaths. Above 80 years, there were 8 deaths. With Pooja Arya, Meher Pandey for NDTV.
Over 46,000 COVID cases have been reported in Maharashtra as well. 46,406 new cases and 36 deaths reported in the state. The positivity rate in Maharashtra is almost at 10%. 9.9 is the daily positivity rate. Mumbai has reported 13,702 COVID cases. This is a sharp decline from yesterday's figure. But there are 3 Indian Medical Association doctors who've actually come out and expressed concern over the increased scale of self-testing in households, and that the results of these tests are not being reported. So could the numbers actually be much higher?
These home test kits for COVID may be resulting in a huge underreporting of COVID cases, the Indian Medical Association has flagged. The worry is that positive cases are probably not being reported at all. Around 3 lakh home testing kits have reportedly been sold from medical stores in Mumbai, out of which only 98,957 citizens uploaded their reports, confirming whether they are positive or negative for COVID on the app, where cases must be registered with the BMC. But worryingly, the BMC has no information about the remaining 2 lakh kits, whether they have been used or not, or how many people who tested through these kits were COVID positive.
सेल्फ किट से आपकी टेस्टिंग करना ये जरूर मुनासिब है, आपको इसकी मंजूरी है, लेकिन आपको वो जो किट के साथ जो रजिस्टर का एड्रेस दिया है उधर आपका नाम आपको रजिस्टर में दर्ज करना है.
The state government has alerted all district commissioners to take note.
स्वयं टेस्टिंग करते हैं और पॉजिटिव होते हैं तो भी वो हमारे जो पोर्टल है उस पे रजिस्टर नहीं हो रहे, तो उनके लिए स्वास्थ्य विभाग की तरफ से एक चिट्ठी हम सभी कलेक्टर्स, कमिश्नर्स और हमारे हेल्थ ऑफिसर्स को दिए, जिसमें बहुत क्लियरली लिखा है कि अगर किसी ने स्वयं टेस्टिंग से भी पॉजिटिव आता है तो उसने रिपोर्ट करना बहुत जरूरी है.
Self-testing and isolation is key to living with COVID. While self-testing kits are easily available online and in retail stores and show results in 15 minutes, they would be effective only if people report results and treat themselves. And people not reporting the results is the latest challenge for the government in keeping track of COVID cases. The government is also now taking steps to ensure that the spread in rural areas is checked. In Mumbai with Pooja Bhardwaj, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
All right, as the positivity rate in the country soars as cases cross the 2 lakh mark, curbs were relaxed for festival celebrations today. Take a look at those pictures from different parts of the country, be it the Bihu celebration in Assam or thousands converging for the holy dip as cases rise in Uttar Pradesh, or Lodi celebrations in Punjab, or crowds at Ganga Sagar, or even the crowds that were seen at Tirumala. There was no social distancing followed. COVID curbs were relaxed for people to be able to come out and celebrate festivals despite a massive surge in cases. Now, the Congress party has suspended its 10-day padayatra on day 5 after 5 leaders, including Veerappa Moily and Mallikarjun Kharge, tested positive for COVID. But a defiant DK Shivakumar has denied that his colleagues got COVID because of this yatra.
Am I not right that between 5 and 6 senior Congress leaders, including Mr. Moily, these are all senior citizens, have contracted COVID, which is most likely Omicron? Given the
No. You see, it is not connected to our case, I'm telling you. It is not.
Were they not campaigning with you, sir?
No. They are not campaigning with us. They have not been contacted with us. It is no way connected to our campaign. This one, the yatra. They are no way connected to yatra.
Karnataka has a 44% spike in COVID cases.
No. See, it is all created. I'm telling you. It is not.
The numbers are not created, sir. On what basis do you say the numbers are created?
See, those who have got negative outside, when they come to Bangalore, they become positive. That is why I demanded for a judicial inquiry on this issue. For me itself, a deputy commissioner sends a officer who has a positive to discuss with me. Then yesterday night, a deputy commissioner who has signed a letter, who himself has got a positive, who was along with the chief minister, sends me a letter. They are trying to trap me.
All right, moving on to an NDTV exclusive on Chinese enclaves being seen in Bhutan. High-resolution satellite imagery shows 166 buildings and roads. These enclaves are just less than 30 kilometers from Doklam. Vishnu has the details.
High-resolution satellite imagery sourced by NDTV confirms that China may be constructing at least 2 large interconnected villages well within the territory of Bhutan, something which could have profound security implications for India. Now, these are the high-resolution images on your screen now, which confirms that China is constructing these 2 large villages. At least, it's thought to be 2 of at least 6. These lie approximately 30 odd kilometers from the Doklam Plateau, where India and China had a tense standoff in 2017 when Indian soldiers physically blocked Chinese road construction activity. Now, this is seen to be irrefutable evidence of ongoing construction and development area in a place which has already been disputed by China and Bhutan. The images show multiple chalet-like structures, which you see there, with many more under construction. This image on your screen from the 1st of January, just a few days back. Where is it all happening? It's happening in Bhutanese territory, a short distance away from the Doklam Plateau. In fact, the area you see over there, disputed area, is where it's taking place right now. The Doklam Plateau, where that India-China standoff took place, to its south. And the big worry is that there is the Siliguri corridor, which lies further south of that. That's the narrow sliver of land which exists between, or which connects, the northeast of India with the rest of the country.
And on to the big political focus. 8 MLAs, including 3 ministers, have quit the BJP in Uttar Pradesh in just 3 days. Dharam Singh Saini from western Uttar Pradesh's Saharanpur was the latest to leave the party today a day after he said that he wouldn't leave the BJP. Clearly, 24 hours is a long time in politics. Alok with the full story.
A third OBC minister quitting the Adityanath government in 3 days. Dharam Singh Saini from West UP's Saharanpur, who joined the BJP in 2016, today said his reasons were similar to those of Eastern UP strongman Swami Prasad Maurya and Dara Singh Chauhan, also from Eastern UP.
देखिए, ये 1.5 वर्ष पहले तय हो चुका था कि हम सब लोग रिजाइन देंगे। जब विधानसभा में लगभग 140 विधायकों ने धरना दिया था सरकार के खिलाफ और दलित पिछड़े वर्ग के लोगों का उत्पीड़न जिस तरीके से हो रहा था, ये आवाज़ बुलंद करी थी विधायकों ने, मंत्रियों ने, और इसी का सिलसिला आज शुरू है कि रोज एक मंत्री इस्तीफा दे रहा है। ये 20 तारीख तक इसी तरह चलता रहे।
Like the past 2 days, another tweet by SP Chief Akhilesh Yadav welcoming Saini to the Samajwadi Party with the hashtag Mela Hobe, suggesting an incoming explosion of BJP leaders into the party.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी में ही रहूंगा।
Just 24 hours ago, Saini had rubbish reports of leaving the BJP.
मेरा नाम भी समाजवादी पार्टी को जो उन्होंने विधायकों की इस्तीफा देने वालों में या पार्टी छोड़ने वालों में जो सूची उन्होंने दी है, उसमें मेरा नाम भी है। उन्होंने ये गलत किया है, मेरी जानकारी के बगैर उन्होंने नाम दिया है। मैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी में हूँ और भारतीय जनता पार्टी में ही रहूंगा।
Apart from the 3 ministers, 7 other BJP MLAs have quit in the last 72 hours. All except one are likely to align with the Samajwadi Party.
The BJP's top UP leadership, stung by the exits, attended this election committee meeting in Delhi, the party's first this season, chaired virtually by Prime Minister Modi. It seems that the party was mum on the issue of defections.
आज केंद्रीय चुनाव समिति की उत्तर प्रदेश को लेकर जो बैठक संपन्न हुई, उसमें 172 विधानसभा सीटों को लेकर के चर्चा हुई और भारतीय जनता पार्टी शानदार विजय, जैसी विजय हमने 2017 में प्राप्त की थी, उससे भी शानदार विजय हम 2022 में प्राप्त करेंगे।
As defections from BJP in UP continued amid the election committee meeting chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi at Delhi BJP headquarters, the top leadership remained non-responsive on the questions of defections in the state. However, party sources say that these defections have more to do with personal ambitions than the party's performance back in the state.
As a counter, the BJP has held on to both its major OBC allies in UP, Sanjay Nishad of the Nishad Party and Anupriya Patel of the Apna Dal. Top sources say it's almost certain that Adityanath will contest the election. It could be from the temple town of Ayodhya. Bureau Report, NDTV.
Now, the Samajwadi Party and the RLD have declared their first list for the Uttar Pradesh polls. 29 seats candidates have in fact been declared. 19 of these for the RLD and 10 seats have gone to the Samajwadi Party. So that's the big story that we're tracking. The SP RLD there declaring their first list for the Uttar Pradesh election. Now, this came hours after the Congress Party declared its first list of 125 candidates. This was a list released by Congress's Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. Now, the Congress has fielded the mother of the 2017 Unnao rape victim as its candidate for next month's assembly election. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra also said that 40% of tickets have been reserved for women.
हमारी उन्नाव की जो प्रत्याशी हैं, जो उन्नाव का बहुत बड़ा रेप का केस हुआ था, उनकी माताजी हैं आशा सिंह जी। वो चुनाव लड़ना चाहती हैं और हमने उनको मौका दिया है कि अपने संघर्ष को वो जारी रखें और जिस सत्ता के जरिए उनको दबाया गया, उनके परिवार के साथ तरह तरह के अत्याचार किए गए, उनके पति की हत्या की गई, उनके देवर जी आज भी जेल में हैं, उनकी बेटी का बलात्कार किया गया, उसके बाद एक्सीडेंट कराया गया, वही सत्ता अपने हाथों में लें और खुद के लिए अपनी लड़ाई लड़ें।
And well, on to the other big story that we are tracking, the train accident in Jalpaiguri. The distressing visuals that have surfaced of multiple passengers trapped in the debris after a train accident in North Bengal. 12 coaches of the Guwahati-Bikaner Express derailed around 5 p.m. this evening in the Jalpaiguri district. At least 3 people have been killed and over 20 injured. At least 40 people have been rescued.